Hello, this is an update on the Zodiac killer, Gary Francis Post, and searching the code for his birthday sign. As you see here, in an expanded chart with just the targets, it looks curved. That's with G's and target signs for the Zodiac. But it's not quite right, and it's messy, and I don't think it's right. But anyway, the reason I'm looking for Scorpio is because his birthday was found. This guy was searching for it in 2008, and he said it right out that it was November 8th, 1937. And it's on Reddit. Genealogy. I need to find obituary for Post. New York, 8 November 37 through 23rd August 2018. And if you looked at sign up, it is Scorpio. Interesting things about Scorpio, born on the 8th. I don't fall for astrology because I think it's based on hormones that during the year that make people similar, because the body creates ability to adapt to stress, the cold weather or the spring. It doesn't need to be as stressed or to be as warm. So, people who are easygoing in the spring who are born then, and people born in the fall are very hunter-gatherers, you could say. Very active, very anxious. Well, anyway, zodiac sign, you see life with a different pair of glasses. Everything is larger than what's on the surface. Keeping things like progressive, innovative path. You make strides. But, of course, this was interesting. Additionally, November 8th birthday horoscope suggests that you could be distant. You find that being detached is sometimes best. Nonetheless, you are easily agitated at people probing into your personal life. Your friends are curious to know what's ticking deep inside you. Enough with a cold shoulder, Scorpio. You should learn to trust someone who has your back. It is bad weather. There's also something further on about moons. You can look that up yourself. It's on sunsigns.org. Well, anyway, so I thought, would he have hid the Scorpio sign in the code? Well, this guy in France was studying the code, and he drew a big target sign from the center P all the way down to the tiny, I can't think straight, the sight glass. And then there's these lines here that go across both sides like a target. So what's in the middle of the target is, well, an O or backward P. I don't know. I didn't look that up. But anyway, at the top of it was a P. So I looked up all the P's. Charted them on the post. They were interesting, and it kind of had a Scorpio look to them. I don't know, something was just missing. Something didn't seem right. So maybe the P was backwards, right? So I turned the P backwards. I traced all the P's that were backwards. And then this happened. It may not look like much. So you see them as stars. See? You have the stars going up, over, and then hook. If you draw it as a constellation, you've got a scorpion. It's about as good as you can do on a graph paper or on any chart that he had, and keep your cipher the way you want it, as well as, the beginning part, where under his name here, Zodiac, you've got, the way it's spelled kind of messed up there, and the target, and the arrow pointing up to his initials, GFP, and then you got G scratched out and P, which means he probably accidentally put the F early, scratched it out, and put a backwards K. So I believe that Gary Francis Post was the Zodiac Killer. I believe that he had help with Arthur Allen. I believe that the Zodiac Killer probably killed people in Texarkana and other places. And I have to say something that is odd about this case. No one wants to admit that this guy did it, even though he looks like the person who did it and had the opportunity to do it. What's odd is, when I went back to look for his birthday, I couldn't find it. And then they said it was 1938. I think I saw 1939. It took me forever to go back to find where I had found it. And when I did, I realized something. Maybe it's been erased. Maybe nobody wants you to know this guy's. Gary Post is the one that did it. Maybe they want you to still have terror. Maybe it was always about terror. This is where the conspiracy part comes in, and you can leave now. I mean, it all is conspiracy. But what if they wanted terror back then? What if the CIA, and we know the CIA and the FBI have become communist Marxists, supporting communist Marxist agenda. What if in the past they didn't want anybody trusting the police, anybody coming out, anybody to feel safe? When these things happened in the 60s, and we needed cops, we needed protection. At a time when the hippies were getting crazier and crazier, and it just seems to me like the Summer of Love was the same way. If you've ever read Berkowitz's biography, where he got into a church that was bad, a devil church, and he said he heard voices in his head, and maybe he did. We know they have the technology now; it's all over the internet. Many whistleblowers have leaked it. Maybe they had it back then. They had cellular telephones in the army in the freaking 50s, cell phones that we didn't have until the 80s. And that's also documented on YouTube in old Army files that they put up, old Army videos, I should say. They even had color television back then, before we had gotten fully into black and white TV. So, that's pretty wild. But anyway, I suspect that this guy will never be, he will never be called the Zodiac Killer, and that they will always deny it as long as they need to keep terror alive. And it's a great distraction, isn't it? All this stuff. I don't think it's totally a coincidence that it's been... Come on, I mean, the FBI... the cops would have seen it, but they wouldn't have known that it was pointing to anybody's name. But the FBI have been on this case for a long time, and they know Gary Francis Post was a person of interest, and yet none of them looked at Zodiac and, looked up in the stars and saw his glorious initials there for all to see. Really? They never saw that? I don't believe that. I don't trust them. I don't believe them. And that's the second reason I'm putting out this video. I don't think you should trust them either. I think that even if this person is dead. What if they bring back someone? Or what if they bring back... What if they do it again? You know? There's been many times where shooters have had weird connections. Like the Capitol murders, the Capitol shootings, Washington, D.C. Just crazy. I mean, I don't think they're ever going to say this guy is the person, no matter how many times he signs his name on it. This is all I'm going to do with this. I was thinking about looking into the other ciphers, but yeah. That's up to y'all if y'all want to do that. And see if you can find his initials in the other ones. See if you can find... Maybe Alan Arthur put his own initials in it too. You know, if he helped write this out for post. Maybe he even helped design it. Now, I haven't seen anything about Alan Arthur in this one, but I haven't really looked, and I'm not going to. That's all I've got to say, and I wish us all luck in fighting evil. And I hope they look more into the Texarkana murders where people were murdered by water. Scorpio is a water sign. This guy was born November 8th in a moon phase. So the moon was always a part of the Zodiac killer's modus operandi. And water, I believe, is too. So maybe we can solve a lot of murders. Maybe you can solve a lot of murders if you connect those two. But if he was working for the CIA, or I imagine it was the CIA back then he would have been working for, they'll never admit it. But that doesn't mean we can't find clues. Well, anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope you found this intriguing and educational.